All right, guys, how are we doing today? Today, I'm going to remind you on what parallel and perpendicular lines are and how to know the difference. So let's look at parallel first. If you look at parallel lines, obviously there's some type of relationship, right? This line looks like it's going up in the same direction like this. Parallel lines never touch, and the reason why they never touch is because of their slopes. Their slopes are going to be changing points the same. They have the same rate of change, right? So if you look at this slope here, just a reminder, this is my slope. Right here, this is my y-intercept. If you forgot that, bam, slope and y-intercept. So this is also my slope over here. Here's slope, and here's my y-intercept. All right, so parallel lines never touch, and the reason why they never touch is because they have the same slope. So that's the main important thing for parallel lines. So we'll put up here, same slope. So same m value, same slope. Put that m here. So you know you have two parallel lines when you have the same slope. And let's go over here. So there's two ways we can look at it. We can look at their equations, and I can say, hey, I know these lines are parallel because look at this slope here and look at the slope here. Or let's say you don't have the equations. Let's say you just have two lines and you're trying to figure out if they're parallel. What you want to do is you want to find two nice points on each one. So like here's a nice point, here's a nice point. And we need to find the slope for this green line. So you say up 1, up 2. So this is a positive 2. So if I was doing my rise over run, you would say positive 2 up here, going over 1, positive 1 this direction. So your slope right now is 2 over 1. And then you would do the same for the red line. You would say, hey, what's my slope for this red line? You find two nice points. You say go up 1, 2, so it's a positive 2 in my numerator. Go over 1, positive 1 in my denominator. Yo, look, my slopes are the same, so these lines are parallel. All right, cool. Perpendicular. So if you're looking at these lines right here, notice they do cross. So what's important to remember about them is that, let's look at their slopes again. If you look at this equation slope here, we have a negative 4x, and slope is just a number, so we have a negative 4. And for this one, we have a 1/4. Now, if you don't remember, perpendicular slopes are always going to be, we call opposite reciprocals. All right, opposite reciprocals. Ooh, do I spell that? Reciprocals. I think that's right. Opposite reciprocals. What that means is if it's a minus sign, if your slope is minus, it's going to need to change to a plus. So if it's a minus sign, you need to change it to a plus. But if it's a plus, you need to change it to a minus sign. And then reciprocal means if you have a fraction, right? Let's say you have, I'll do like this fraction. Let's say we had a over b, just some random numbers. Its reciprocal is now going to be b over a. So you flip it. So opposite means change the sign, reciprocal means make it a fraction and flip it, or if it's a fraction already, flip it. So let's look at this. We know these lines are perpendicular because look, let me just take negative 4 from this equation here, my slope from this one. Now, its opposite reciprocal would be, this is my perpendicular symbol, so opposite reciprocal means, yo, this is negative, so this one should be positive. This right here is not a fraction, but I can make it a fraction by putting a 1 under it. Now let's take that fraction and we flip it. So instead of it being 4 over 1, well, we're going to have 1 over 4. So a positive 1 over 4, which, what do you notice? Bam, that is that slope. So that's the main difference between parallel and perpendicular lines. Just to recap, parallel lines have the same slope, and perpendicular lines have opposite reciprocal. Opposite means you flip its sign, reciprocal means you flip the fraction. And that's it.